Pricing, business model, charging for quotes, and range of furniture. These are just some of the things to consider when choosing the right home staging company for you. We'll cover that and more on this week's episode of Foxy TV. Now let's get the obvious caveat out of the way. We are a home staging company ourselves, so obviously we are going to be biased towards the way we operate, as we believe in these business practices and they have served us well so far. And we will give you that argument. But we only operate in a small pocket of the world in Southeast Queensland, and most of our viewers aren't from this part of the world. We have viewers from all over the world, and we have made this video for everybody. But of course, these are only our thoughts and opinions. We would love to hear from you if you disagree, if you agree, in the comments section wherever you are watching this video. So the way I'm going to structure this episode, we're going to hear 1 or 2 points from Phoebe. We're then going to see an install. We're then going back to Phoebe for some more information, and then we're going to finish the episode with another quick install. So information, install, information, install. Sound good? Let's go.
So when I'm at a consult and I'm leaving a consult and I have a chat with a client, I say, look, just make sure you're comparing apples with apples for a quotation, because there is a huge variety and as in every industry, a huge variety in the way that you can set up your business model, and there's a huge variety in what you're supplied with. Number one, does your stylist own their own stock? So there's lots of little different facets that come underneath this. They do own their own stock. Are they more of a budget stylist? You're talking about those, and there's nothing wrong with any of what I'm about to talk about. Business models suit all different levels of properties. We've obviously niched into a certain area, but you need the high end, you need the low end. Everybody needs to be suited and catered for. So do these stylists stock, or your run of the mill, your Kmart, your Target, they would normally brand themselves as budget stylists. They have a budget package. So they are the ones that are focusing definitely on investment, definitely on something is better than nothing, and it's not necessarily focusing on presenting the area in the best way that we can, most with being nice and full. It's just getting something in there to give it a lifestyle factor rather than presenting an empty space. So we get a little bit of emotional factor. Then you have work your way up to a luxury range, and there are a couple of stylists in Brisbane who do own their own stock, and they do focus on a luxury level. They focus on definitely the $2 million plus properties. And then if they don't own their own stock, are we hiring stock, which is definitely more Brisbane based anywhere than I see any other state in Australia. That's what sets their prices. If we move on from do we own our own stock, and then we focus on the price you pay doesn't necessarily reflect what you're going to receive on install day. This is an interesting conversation that we've had with quite a few agents. We have quoted and they've rung me back and they've gone, it needs to be higher. I go, how come? And then they said, well, we've got stylist X and Y have quoted and they're hiring it, so it's higher, but we know that what your end product is going to be, they're going to like it better, so can we add cost? And that just blows me away. The way I describe this to a client is that if a stylist doesn't own their own stock, they have to pass on a middleman cost. It's the same in any sort of hire arrangement. They have their costs that are set by the supplier, and for them to make a living, they have to have a margin added on. We have more flexibility because we own our own stock. However, that does not necessarily equal amazing quality, perfect finish, brand new stock every time, non-tarnished, it doesn't equal amazingly beautiful. We've had quite a few situations where I've had vendors ring us and say, well, we paid this much, we went for these guys because we thought they were better based on pricing. We're disappointed, what can you do? That being said, there's also amazing stylists out there who are definitely worth every cent more than what you pay for other stylists. Doesn't necessarily equate to getting an amazing finished product, so just be really aware of that.
So there's our first bit of information. Now let's go to a quick integrated staging job on the north side of Brisbane in Hendra, and then we will go straight back to Phoebe.
We're doing a partial. It is just a small little one today, 3 bed, 1 living. And that's about it. We'll be in and out quite quickly.
Yeah, the boys are taking a bunch of the clients' furniture.
Yeah, they moved just down the street, so luckily for the boys, they don't have far to travel.
The other important, I guess in every single creative industry, you look at a portfolio. So make sure you go and have a look on Instagram. Instagram is your working portfolio as a stylist, something we can update every single day. You can see how fresh stock is, how much turnover they have. Are they using the same stock in every house? Is it going to look different and unique across all the different properties? You don't want your house to look the same as the neighbours. So make sure you have a look at their portfolio. And in that, I think this is a different point that I think is really important to consider is, does your agent have a working relationship with a stylist? Regardless of the portfolio, the pricing, everything like that, if your agent is coming to you and referring a stylist and they have a working relationship, in our experience, that stylist is going to be a very smooth transition for you to use. That agent is happy with their quality of work, they're happy that it's a reflection on their brand, and they're happy that it's going to do the job that it needs to get your property sold. Generally, that's a really good referral. There are some situations, obviously, where it's a little bit different to that. What we find, if a client comes to us and like, oh, we really love what you do, we gelled better with you, we liked your prices better, we liked whatever, for whatever reason, they decide to go down the path of us, and there's resistance there from the real estate agent, it's not as smooth, it's not as an enjoyable experience because not everybody's on board. So if there's an existing relationship there, my advice is to explore it. And then if you really don't gel, if you really don't get a really good vibe, then explore elsewhere, at least give it a chance. So the one other thing that's very well discussed within the industry is the thought of charging for a consultation. For me, as a consumer, that is a no. I wouldn't pay for anybody else to come into my house and getting my house ready for sale, come and give me a quotation for works and then expect to also pay for that quote. I know that you're saying that you need to have your time paid for. I know that you're saying you're parting with creative intelligence and that's your intellectual property. You wouldn't pay your real estate agent to come and do an appraisal. It's your opportunity to create a first impression and it's your opportunity to show what you can do differently, and you need to know that that first impression is such a good one that they're going to come back and they're going to use you. Yeah, there's stylists that do charge, there's stylists that don't charge. We're on the stylists that don't charge side of things because, like I said, you don't pay anybody else to come and give an appraisal on your home.
Thank you, Phoebe, for that information. As I said at the top of the episode, if you agree, disagree, if you'd like to add to that discussion on anything that was discussed, please let us know in the comment section. Now, if you have been following us along, you'll know that Phoebe is about to have a baby, so this may be the last time we hear from her from a little while. But to finish the episode, we're going to go to another quick install, an integrated styling job in Indooroopilly.
We are at a partial today at Indooroopilly.
Yep.
We're just going to move some of the client's furniture out, but we're going to keep most of it. Yeah, we've got 3 bedrooms upstairs and a little study nook. And yeah, we've got our big main living dining area downstairs.
And in this sort of property, I suppose some of the furniture's a bit older looking, a bit darker, is one of the key things to brighten a place like this up?
Yeah, I've got lots of nice white greens in terms of accessories, just to, yeah, give it a bit of a lift.
So there you have it, there's the second install. Now over the next 2 weeks, we have 2 new team members starting in the marketing team, so I'm really excited to up the quality and quantity of content that you will be seeing. So definitely stay tuned for that. As always, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you back here next week.